Here's how we went from this to this. Ah! We've been blessed by Australian kindness. 1, 2, and we're gonna turn it into a bike bag. Welcome back, and this week we're gonna be putting together a frame bag. So the frame bag goes in between your legs, and right now I'm tearing apart the seams to these bags. I got them from my neighbor, and he was handing them out. He was cleaning out his garage, and they actually belong to some metal detectors, so that's kind of cool. That's some pretty sick dad lore. I kind of knew from the beginning of this project that I'd be salvaging material. I didn't expect it to be bags. The first material that I thought I'd be using would be ski coats because they're inherently waterproof, but when I went around to the neighbors, I couldn't find anyone who had any on hand. This is my stencil. I drew it using just the bike frame, and I just kind of approximated where I want the angles to be. I just drew the inside with the Sharpie. And then for the width, which are these side panels that are going up, I used just a simple measurement of 6 centimeters, and that's just what some other bags are made with online. You could use whatever you wanted for yours. So at this point, we've finished our seam work, and now I'm going through and with the chalk trying to figure out the best order for both of these panels. I'm trying to keep the zipper, and then one thing I did was I lined the chalk flat so I could leave about a 2 centimeter width so I can keep the size true and use that 2 centimeter as the seam. Now I'm just trying to salvage as much of the material I can for the side panels, and I'm laying them out just like before, cutting them, and you can be proud of me. I even made it kind of organized in the video, so that's kind of cool. We're gonna do A1 and A5. And now the real adventure begins. Anytime you see blue on that map up top, it means we're currently working on that area. We're gonna be attaching the width panel, A1, to the side panel. And yeah, this marks the beginning. I'm optimistic, I haven't made any mistakes. It's a flawless beginning. Fucking do it. God damn it. 2 choices. Either cut all the stitches or have it be wrong forever.
Baby, come on, sit down.
We're gonna leave it. Next up is to make the attachment loops for the top of the bike. I did this by using the straps from the old bags, and then I cut them into really short pieces, folded them in half, and then finally just ran over them with the machine. I used some sacrificial material to go on top. This is actually some ratchet strap material that I found laying on the side of the road. And so I'll use this same method to pretty much go around the 3 sides of the bag that touch the poles. So this
The thing on the side?
So this will go here. If this is the pole, it'll go here, and then you run the string
To attach it?
Yeah.
Sick.
Now we're just taking that piece we just finished, and we're just attaching it to the top panel. So, down out here. Not bad. What do you think, Sarah? So now I'm just approximating in where I'd like my shelf to lay. The shelf I just made out of 2 strips of Velcro. One of them the pokey side and the other the soft side. I had the soft side pointing up so it'd be nice on my fingers, and the pokey side pointing down. Now we're just finishing up that shelf piece. And then finally we take the mid-body panel and we attach our shelf piece straight to the panel. Completing it. It's finished. Fantastic. Okay, I just did the top. This is a B1. Just did that. She looks so bad. Now we're on to B5. I should probably have mentioned before, this is probably the most I've ever used a sewing machine in my life. It's pretty brutal. I didn't show it to begin with, but I probably spent an hour just trying to figure out the bobbin. Yeah. Sewing machines, you think it'd be simple, it's just fabric, but oh my gosh, there's so much to it. So most of this was just me battling with it, and it also didn't help that I didn't make out like a full plan, but she's purring, and we're cooking. Now we're doing B2. She's just running smooth. Everything's going great. Fantastic. I'm thankful I labeled all my pieces. I'm going to tell you right now, I almost put the piece in the wrong spot several times. B2 and B3 are like the same size, but right now we're on B4. I don't know why I did the smallest one last. It kind of made for a little bit of difficulty in the next panel, but that one went perfect and I was really excited until I did the last panel and realized everything was a little offset. Here's one of the many mistakes I've done. I put one of the panels backwards. So now we get to use our trusty tool, the thread puller. I gotta say, the thread puller is probably the best invention ever. I've used this thing more than whiteout. It is so important to have. I probably have pulled more stitches in this project than I actually sewed. And now we're finally doing the last panel. This is the last one, and then we have our full half body shell done. Oh, it's exciting. I made another mistake. I got tired. This is the top, this is the outside. And I guess this is on the inside. That's useful. Fuck yeah. So if you were counting, you're correct. This is the second panel I put on backwards. I don't have a good success rate. This is pretty rough. And yeah. That's how I feel. Alright, here's where we're at so far. We have the first half done. That's the good news. The bad news is I completely undershot this dimension and I made it a little too high here. So now I'm gonna have to sew on a little piece and I have to deal with an extra seam, but hopefully that'll be okay. But yeah, if we're not planning anything, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. You know, there was a certain point in this project where I just didn't think I was going to be able to do it. Whether I was putting on panels backwards or taking them off, flipping them around just to put them on a couple inches lower for some reason, I was in the weeds. But really, as soon as I started attaching the last wall together and seeing it start to take shape, it just kind of started to fall together. And I feel like, you know, that's what's important. It's just finishing. That's the most important part. I think it's way too easy to start projects. I'm just really, really glad I kept through and just fought for this one to finish. But we did, boys. We got her. So here it is inside out. It's not bad. It's box looking. But I have a problem. Right when I got to the end, I noticed I am completely mismatched. And I thought this was the corner seam, when it's not. This is my extension from my mistake. And this is the corner seam. So this needs to be here. Which means the thread puller again. Whoa. Alright, it's the next day. But last night, we finished. This is our bag. And it's pretty rough. One of the worst things you can notice is the asymmetry. This is our interior shelf. And this is the shelf on the other side. Okay, not too bad. Here's the back. Yikes. Yeah, so that's not good. So the whole bag is it's off by like 3 centimeters. I have no idea how. Everything was cut identical sizes, but apparently I just was a little too tight on some stitches and a little too lenient on others, and that led to the whole bag being off. So I'm definitely glad that I started at the top, because the top looks pretty good. It looks very, very square, and then the bottom looks bad, but the bottom is going to be hidden. You can also see that I had to do a diagonal stitch to try and solve that. But yeah, now it's time to turn inside out. Here's the bottom zipper. Here's the top zipper, and at the moment it's completely open. But when you attach the Velcro, here you get a shelf. And there it is. It's absolutely hideous. Alright, now to put it on the bike. Okay, here she is all roped up. Something kind of funny is on a lot of other bikes, you'll see the bike frame is like really pretty and attached in diagonals. Ours is square, so that's not too bad. Here's the big pocket. This is the one on the top. In here, I usually just keep my Nalgene and my bike lock. And so that works while I'm riding, just easy to get to. The other side is where we'll have access to the bottom pouch. Inside, there's 2 screws that I use. They're normally used for the water bottle, but I use them here for attachment points. And then finally, this is where I'm going to store my extra spare bike tube and a random rope I found, along with some extra lines and cables just in case any of my rusty ones break. Just a handful of tools, a Phillips screwdriver, and finally, the good old trusty bike pump. And honestly, that's it. Moral of the story, don't let dreams be dreams. You can pretty much build anything if you have enough time and enough YouTube videos. And I'm really happy with how she turned out. Thanks for watching. Love you, Mom. Hope Sarah doesn't see.